This is a bear of a topic, and it should not be actually even a video topic because there's really a lot to it. Um, we're going to talk about the transformation of functions, and it's not super hard, but you do need to know a lot of things. For example, you need to know that the function y equals x squared is a parabola and looks something like this. You need to know that y equals the absolute value of x are two straight lines. This is the equation y equals x, and this is the equation y equals negative x. It helps if you know that y equals 1 over x looks something like this. You should know that y equals radical x is 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 4, 3, 9, etc. And you should also know that the exponential function y equals e to the x looks like this, such that 0, 1 is a point, and 1, 2.71828, etc., etc., etc. is a point. Now, with all that said, we're going to take a look, and we're going to say, I'm going to take a look mostly with y equals x squared, and I'm going to leave that picture up. Well, if I want to shift y equals x squared up, I would do, let's say I want to shift it up 2 units, I'd do y equals x squared, and all you do is you add 2 units, and it's the same exact function, except it moves up 2 units. If I want to shift it down 2 units, I'd do y equals x squared minus 2. And what I'm hoping you'll realize is if I wanted to do the absolute value function, same thing, it'd be y equals the absolute value of x plus 2, that would shift it up 2, and y equals the absolute value of x minus 2, and that would shift it down 2 units. So now I'm going to continue on. Oh, shoot, went too far. So now, what if I want to move it left and right? Well, if I want to move it, let's say, right 3 units, I would actually subtract 3, and now this is a little bit tricky. But if you plug 3 in for x, you get 3 minus 3 equals 0, and it's going to look something like this. It's the same exact function, except it's shifted over 3 units to the right. If I wanted to shift it over 3 units to the left, I would do this, and that would move it through, oops, that would move it 3 units to the left. And that's because negative 3 plus 3 equals 0. So we have adding, subtracting, up and down, left and right. If I want to reflect a function in the x-axis, what I would do is I would say, well, if I want to reflect it in the x-axis, I negate the function. Well, the function is x squared. So I'd negate that. And if I negate that, I actually reflect it in the x-axis. However, and this is kind of weird, if I wanted to, that's a little too light, if I wanted to reflect it in the y-axis, I would negate the x value. And you can't tell here because it's the same thing. However, if you want to see it for yourself, you could say y equals x minus 2 squared. And what that would do is it bring you 2 to the right. But if I negated the x, well, let's see. Y equals negative x minus 2 squared. Huh, that's odd. Well, when x equals 0, that should be 4. My graphing calculator gave me something very bizarre. Yeah, well, if I make a chart real quick, oops, this is going to be an ugly chart, x and y. When x is 2, that's going to be 4. When x is 0, it's going to be 4. So what happens when x equals 1? Negative 1, negative 3, 9. 1, 9. If we plug in negative 2, if I plug in negative 2, I get 0. So it is going to work. Aha. Good. Success. Alright. Got a little freaked out on myself there. Alright, so that's fine. So that all works. So now, there's 2 more. And like I said, this should really be a refresher. It should not be your sole lesson. If you want to compress the function, alright, and by compress it, I mean make it skinnier, you would make the coefficient of x squared greater than 1. And it would look something like that. If you wanted to make it wider or stretch it, you'd make the coefficient of x squared between 0 and 1. And that would make it wider. Like that. And that's it. That's the transformation of functions. This is a super useful video to watch, especially if you're going to watch how to convert quadratic equation into standard form. And I'm going to do that next. Really useful to watch this one first, and you'll see why if you watch my next video. Hope you do.